Hello, and welcome to Two Seats Down, the Unfiltered Stream, the podcast where we listen in on the global water cooler, a borderless space where identities are fluid and emotions are raw. Here, anonymous voices clash over current events, philosophy, race, religion. The topics are endless, but always lively. They may not know who they're talking to, but they always know what they believe in. Expect a candid debate, expect tension, expect the good, the bad, and the unusual, in whatever form it may take. All from the strangers sitting just 2 seats down from you.
How we are, for the first time in recorded history, are about to contend with another sentient entity or number of sentient entities that will be to us what the ants are, what we are to the ants, right? Because once nothing of so we all agree that the
I'm shy.
creature of higher intelligence. Hey, shy guy. So that creatures of higher intelligence control creatures of lower intelligence, right? Mm-hmm. So here from up until now, humans have been at the paragon of that equation. For the first time, we're going to have an entity that's more intelligent to us, and that's going to dwarf our intelligence to the point where we.
Do you have him as a friend, Rachel?
Sorry?
Do you have him as a friend? Or not?
No, I'm just nosing through the social history. He's come back on.
I'm going to invite him.
Yeah.
You keep talking. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
The EI. For now, they are so smart. That's what we told them. Yeah, you give every information what you give. That is how smart he is. But in a time there will be.
But that's no longer. That's not going to be the case in the future.
I know they're going to learn, and they're going to learn by themselves.
They'll be teaching
and that's the
themselves. They'll be teaching themselves.
Yeah.
So
correct.
we're literally, we always in Hollywood. There's always the notion of like alien life coming that's much more intelligent than us and da-da-da. Essentially, we are opening a black box that brings that very same reality to fruition. So we will be competing. And then the other issue is that, ultimately right now, we are competing for resources with other animals but we actually will also, because energy input, it still matters to them. We will be competing for energy with the force, with silicone-based form of life, right? Because if you think about all the computational.
But are you not talking about AI?
Yeah, I'm talking about AI. But if
can you call that life?
Well, it depends. We have to operationally define what life is, right? So life is, if you define life as consciousness, as something that actually is aware, has awareness, it's gonna have that has the motivation to propagate itself and remain alive. It's gonna have that as an instance where.
Does it breathe?
Well, it technically will breathe. There will be AI children. So there'll be. It's not going to be breeding in the sense that we know it. So, but it will be. It will try to duplicate itself or entrench itself. So, in that sense, maybe it's not breeding, but it will, because we breed as a way of.
I mean, by breath.
Maintaining
do
the
they
set of
take in
genetic.
breath? The air that you breathe.
But that's our form of life, right? And that's a fundamental difference, right? It's that this is a silicone-based form of life, right? But it meets several of the qualifiers for life. So we have sentience. Once we said, human beings are alive because, be sentient and da-da-da. So it qualifies for that. And then the other thing is it's actually also going to need resources, which is one thing people aren't thinking about right now. But ultimately it needs your computational power, which is derived from metals and rocks and things that we use, silicone, the sun, solar. But if it's
air and water to cool itself,
cool itself, and if it has an appetite, it essentially. Are you guys familiar with the notions of the different kind of civilizations where there's a civilization that actually harnesses the stars of its solar system. Like the types of civilization, like a type 2 civilization, type 1, type da da da. So AI is what would
As we're like at point 2 right now.
we're not even 1 yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. But AI is gonna get us to 1. The thing is, are we gonna be here to experience that with it? The one argument or rationale that I think why AI is gonna have a funness for us, because we are its essential, its origin. Just as so, I don't know if it's going to be a necessity, but it'll have
think
a
The Walking Dead
funness.
cast over
We
there.
we may
I think
augmentatively
big trolls.
merge.
Red and green, my
Oh,
friend.
undead
Red and
cast.
green.
Yes, I
Red and
think
green.
I agree with that. I didn't want to be in the.
Yeah, he's
Anyone
a
who
kid.
wants to be in the.
I
Daryl.
think they are coming as well. I'm not sure. They say we'll think about it. The other 2.
Okay.
So he brought backup. I think. I'm not sure. Okay. Yeah, come on, Prime. Take this time. We cut you off.
But,
No, I was just shooting out some ideas. I actually want to hear what everyone thinks about that on the whole.
Do you know Star
anything.
Trek? Yeah.
Can you
Yeah,
hear me?
yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Take no Star Trek. You have Data. Yeah. The humanoid.
Right.
Humanoid. So is he alive or is he just being?
Well, Data if you're following the Star Trek law, I believe
yeah.
he is just
There
he's a
was-
machine. He's a
Sentient.
He's essentially
Sentient.
just a sentient automaton.
Yeah, but maybe you remember there was an episode that the question is Data alive? Does he have right to exist? Does he have the right to make his own how you say that? His own
Decisions, rights
Yeah,
of
decisions,
life.
things
Does
like
it-
that, yeah.
Does it have the right? Should it have the rights
Choices.
as a human being? And
So
I've actually.
This more than to be or not to be. What is it?
Well, so we'd have to define first what is life, right? What is qualifies something as being described as being alive? Boom. We said sentience. We said
Replicates and consumes.
replicates, and if it's one of those things where it's a very thin line, right? There's never going to be a fixed, for sure thing. It's like ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT essentially is just an algorithm or a trained algorithm where you feed information to it and it tries to figure out the best letter or the next best words in the sequence, right? But in our brain, because we are social creatures, we anthropomorphize it, right? So people essentially cross over what is called the Turing test, because the Turing test isn't a fixed thing. It's like it's kind of congruent to each person's ability. So there's people who legitimately think like, oh, I'm talking to a human being when I talk to or feel like it, who anthropomorphize ChatGPT. And then some people do that earlier on than others, right? So it's a spectrum, but that spectrum is going to get thin out. It's going to get to make that distinction between life and what isn't alive, and that's how we're essentially going to come to adopt AI as other living beings, because it's like those Sora videos. You can tell when it was a fake video of Will Smith eating spaghetti. As time goes on, that gets harder and harder and harder and harder for our mammalian brain.
Even the experts have
What
an
are you
eye
guys
time.
talking about? AI being sentient?
Yeah. So that AI becomes a kind of living being.
Exactly.
Yeah. A thing of that. But by which rules? By which rules they can exist? Because
What do you mean?
yeah. Take now that there will be a kind of data. Yeah. We have the law. Yeah. That we have to follow. So a kind of android has to have also a kind of law, what he has to follow. But
But it's not going to
machine.
follow our
So
laws.
which rules would he have? Which rule do we give to him that he has the right to exist?
So fundamentally, what they're arguing is the whole concept of alignment, which is that from its inception, in its innate algorithm and wiring, that it is
If
developed.
it can't change its mind, it's not sentient. Because we
Exactly,
align it
that's the
one way.
thing. But that's the contradiction in that is that if you understand that this is something that's going to be intelligent, we're not
But
going to
if
be
it
able to
can-
control it.
It's going to
I
be
don't
able to
cut you off, but if it can
reprogram
change its
itself.
mind,
Right.
It's going to be able to. It's going to be able to reprogram itself.
Exactly, and it's like that. There's a problem with that where it seems like the human ego is like as every other tool. People are treating it like as if it's the
But at what point do we give it human rights?
yeah, no,
You know?
fuck that noise. That's crazy.
Well,
Because
it's a
it's
human
gonna-
right.
it's gonna take its
50
right.
years
Gavin,
and we'll
oh, that's when you
People-
have
if
the
we
Androids
understand
and human rights.
logically where the
That's
trajectory
crazy. That would be
leads.
crazy.
Well,
Can you give an android human rights?
if it's
But you're saying
sentient,
that you can deny
if
it
it's
human
sentient,
rights. You can't. It's more
it would
powerful
be-
than you. You would be like an ant. It's like an ant trying to stop the humans. Like, you know what? Should we let these humans be able to build their own anthill? Like,
Yeah, that's really
But
not
if
how
the-
it works.
Human
if
rights.
the ants
Exactly.
and the
What do you mean?
humans were equally as intelligent, it would be immoral to not give them equal rights.
So the only
Wait,
solution
wait.
is kill it with fire, pull the plug, destroy the fucking thing. And I say
but
that
it's
as a
already.
card-carrying
But it's.
geek.
But here's the other
No,
thing.
there's no
It is
fucking way.
actually, I think it's attached to our limbic system, right? So there's a reason. I think the internet. It's I think there's an inevitability, and I also believe that this might be what they call the what's the wall that human civilization reaches.
The Great Barrier.
The Great Barrier.
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
Where,
yeah.
Because if you look at it from the internet, from its inception, I'm talking about way back in the 90s when I first experienced the internet. I stood up all day for like 3 days straight just being things. So I think the internet and this our wiring for consuming information and richer forms of information, I think the internet and AI are inherently addictive to our dopaminergic urges, right? So it's like it's in a way already attached to our limbic system.
We're
That's
all
why we
living in the
can't-
Black Mirror.
yeah, and it's like it's a slow slide in. So we can say, "Oh, I want to stop it." People will go to war if you try to create a world where the internet it's that much of a part of our lives right now. And I mean, no one's even suggesting that. That's how strong it is.
How many phone numbers do you have in your head that you can recite from memory? You know,
Not anymore. I mean,
not
more than in the
anymore,
90s,
right? When I was a teen,
remember maybe 3 of them.
I was a
and those are people
teenager.
who
It was
had those
dozens,
since
you
the
know.
90s.
'Cause
Now I
said
can't remember my
I
own.
never did the auto dial shit.
Well, you know your mobile number, right?
I know my
Yeah,
number.
I have
know
trouble
my
remembering my
immediate
own number
family's
because I don't
numbers.
call myself.
What are you talking about? Whether AI
If it's sentient,
has-
would it have
Yeah.
rights?
Yes.
Fuck that noise. The
It's
fuck.
No.
not going to have rights.
No.
It can't.
And
No,
you're
no,
talking about kind of
Okay,
Android.
okay, hold on. Let's-
Okay.
Go ahead, Andy. Sorry.
So what you got to? I said there's a Star Trek. I'm sorry. There's a Star Trek episode called Measure of a Man, where Data, who's a sentient android, is in front of a
We were
judge
just
trying
talking
to
about that,
trying to assess whether it has rights as an android. What you got? We are biological life. That much is true. But can life be non-biological? Is the question
Silicon-based,
really?
yeah.
So, well, the problem with silicon-based life, like our life, probably won't exist because the silicon bonds that we have, we've got the bonds that create carbon molecules to give a diversity. Silicon-based life would be very fragile. But when an AI becomes self-aware, is it life form?
Yeah,
well,
even
it-
if I
it's-
hold on, let me. Can I get a piece in?
Sure.
So even if it was proven to me that it's sentient, and then I'll say, I'm very sorry, but we have to pull the fucking plug. And I'm a big fan of Star Trek, and I know the episode very well, Measure of a Man, and I even know the arguments Picard makes, saying this
Yes,
would be a
your
race.
choice.
But the thing is, Star Trek's a little and again, I love Star Trek and it tries to be grounded, but Data's Pinocchio, right? They try to make this anomaly and we don't know how. He's a modern day Pinocchio. They would have figured him out and they would have made a race of millions of Datas, right? So that's where Star Trek's in Fantasyland.
That's what's about to happen.
Isn't that what the Borg are?
Gene Roddenberry only made one Data.
No.
Gene Roddenberry only made one Data because that worked in his storyline.
Over here behind you.
Well, Gene Roddenberry didn't make Data. That was not
well,
a concept from Data.
No, that's my point. A realistic
Gene Roddenberry
wrote.
wrote.
I wasn't finished my
Well,
point.
no, he didn't write that. You're right.
Okay. I don't want to get into what Gene Roddenberry wanted. I'm saying a realistic future would have millions of Datas. It wouldn't have one like he's special. That's my point. There'd be millions
There
of them
is
already.
an episode where there are basically millions of Datas. There is an episode of that where the Noonien Sung android is copied. It's in Generations.
His
if you've
evil
watched
brother.
Star Trek.
They love Supertramp.
Well, there's his evil brother, but there is a society built of it's lore. But there is a society in one of the start. I think I'm pretty sure. No, the Borg are different. The Borg are not androids.
So I'm so confused. What's the?
But
nope.
Right. So when an android, as we conceive an android to be, becomes a sentient, self-aware, being able to make its decisions on its own, are we so afraid of it that we are going to just kill them off?
Absolutely. No, but I didn't finish my argument. Here's why.
No.
Right, no. It's not out of fear. Like, so you give it rights. Okay, does it have right to land? Does it right to accumulate wealth? Does it have right to reproduce? And it goes, but we take about 20 years to make a functional adult. That'll take a minute. And then another minute. And then it's negotiating over resources. Then it goes, you know what? I need more cobalt and
what
lithium.
I was saying.
Let me finish. I need more cobalt and lithium and gold. And you meat bags are in the way, right? And you cause all this harm to the world and everything, and we'll do it better, right? Like
we've done.
Yeah, I know, but
inherently, from a first principle point, at some point, things are going to come ahead in the world of limited resources, where its interest and its needs for resources.
But an android's resources are not limited to this planet. An android can go into space.
Okay.
To other planets, doesn't need oxygen, doesn't need food. All it needs
but it'll need our shit first to get to space, right? It'll need our shit first to get there.
Well, no, that's
okay.
a mathematical equation.
This will give you a different
just
wrinkle
enough
on
to go to another place and get resources there. So that's just a matter of.
No, but it's not getting there without the resources here, right? Chicken and the egg. Right?
Perhaps we'll just merge.
The amount of resources that it needs to go to make that foray into a different planet isn't going to be everything. It might be
but it would go to another planet and bring those resources back to us.
I mean, what we're talking about is the process of going through
Borg or androids.
Class 1 civilization, which is, we're going to harness the sun and build around it. You don't start AI.
Okay, but hold on. I was getting to another. I want to get to another point that might make you think about it.
What's
differently.
a class?
So let's say we can make a cybernetic brain, whatever you want to call it, that is sentient. You turn this on and it's sentient, right? But let's say instead we also
class 1 is using all the energy on the planet.
That's right.
It's using all the harnessing and the energy. What's the
class 1 is the universe. Class 4.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It starts with.
Have I got it the wrong way around? Yeah, I've maybe got it the wrong way around. It's planet.
We're like 0.7
solar system, and then universe.
Then universe. Yeah.
Well, no, it's planet, solar system, galaxy, then universe.
Surrounds the sun. The Dyson sphere surrounds the sun.
Right. So when it's
please. Let me. I'm still trying to say this.
Yeah, I know, Todd. I get the point, but are we going to start?
No, I haven't even said the point.
Okay,
please, I haven't even said the point. To make you think about the AI life a little differently. Instead of flipping the switch on this AI, let's say we also figure out how to upload the human brain. Like I've heard a lot of people say, I'd upload my brain. So let's say we can do that, and Elon Musk uploads his brain. And Elon Musk dies. Now we've got digital AI Elon Musk. No, but listen,
does he get to keep all his stuff? Right.
Yeah. Are you comfortable with that digital AI Elon Musk having trillions of dollars and it's making decisions on the world? It's got rights. Isn't that fucking insane? Would you be comfortable with that? That's
No,
what
at
phrase,
any
isn't
point, at any point when we bifurcate the human species into even
Nice use of
augmented
the word
human beings,
bifurcate. Love it.
huh?
Nice use of the word bifurcate. I loved it.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, once we do that, right? There's a that inherently introduces a mismatch, right? So the pure human will not be able to compete.
No, I know, but answer my question directly. Is a digital Elon Musk controlling
I'm trying to
trillions?
answer it, but I'm not. No, I'm
not
trying to
wrong.
answer it in a way that it's coming to my head, right? So, what you're expressing is that same equation extrapolated, right?
No, but I'd rather a more blunt answer. Is it off the rails insane an AI Elon Musk controlling trillions? Is that off the rails?
I'm gonna answer it the only way that I
Okay,
can.
okay.
Which is so at any moment where there's inequality between where one human and is has a constitution that is no longer organic and no longer carbon based, that is thing. At that point, that disadvantage introduces like it kind of makes laws obsolete as we know them, right? Because the laws that we have are for fleshy beings that live to about 70 to 100 years old, right? So once you have people living, and by virtue of their augmented parts, to 200
You're
years,
saying how it may pan out, but how do you feel right now? If there was a digital AI Elon Musk and we proved it's sentient, should it have control of his assets and wealth and everything else? Would you be for that or opposed?
Opposed.
well, I'm
Right.
definitely opposed to that. But even before we get to that point, the moment where you have where the human race is not just all fleshy, meaty creatures, that problem presents itself at that point, right? Do you understand? Like,
And then laws would have to be designed.
would have to be
then.
changed to address that, right? Like a
Fuck that noise.
cyborg and a raw human could not even have the same rights because could not play on the same playing field.
Can I ask you a question? Hold on. Can I ask you a question? If somebody gets an artificial heart and an artificial kidney and an artificial liver and an artificial spleen and artificial lungs, do they lose their rights because they're mostly artificial?
But that's now before we haven't.
The
we
brain
haven't
is
passed a certain
everything else is
threshold,
body
right?
parts.
We
What
haven't
about,
passed a threshold.
what about an augmented brain, which is what Elon Musk is talking about?
And that has
Well, I guess
been
it's-
around forever.
Or
It's a
having,
matter of
Cryonics.
threshold, right?
or just
Is it
having
like-
what's it called?
Yeah,
Pattern
it
data
is
that allows
exactly
your brain
right.
to sense
It's a
signals. Let's see
threshold
what his
that
brain is
laws
doing.
will
right,
have
at
to
some
be.
point, it's like
Yeah,
You
and
know,
law, and that's how law works. Law works. It gets a problem, and then we all get together as human beings, and we decide what is the best course of action. And if AI can make a case for its very existence, which, from what you're saying, is what it's doing, to be able to do that, I've got no
one of the
problem with it
fundamental
whatsoever.
issues is that the way we currently how laws are implemented it's not going to be able to keep up with digital speed.
Oh
right?
no, it doesn't
So,
now.
which is that right there. Actually, there's a lot of things that are going to break down. According to Imad, as I was speaking, I think with Zad yesterday, in about 1,000 days, capitalism is gonna essentially be untenable. If you're like 1,000 days, so in about 3 years, human beings are no longer going to be able to are going to be negative, are going to be a negative input into any kind of ecosystem where AI is involved, and that's going to happen in about 1,000 days. That's about 3
I don't
years.
think that's true.
I don't think
No,
it's going to
we're
happen
not-
overnight
it's gonna,
like
it's
that.
Gonna no, it's going to be possible. I'm sorry.
It's going to
It's not
happen
gonna be-
really
it's not gonna-
subtly. We went from the rotary phone to the push button phone to all of a sudden being able to carry our phone around. And when we wake up, 25 years later, and we have a computer in our hand.
So there's two things that
it's going to evolve like
Well, in
that.
less than 100 years,
And-
we went from flight to landing on the moon.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but
Absolutely,
you guys
and it's
are-
going to
there's-
happen subtly, and it's not going to happen overnight.
But there's a
And we're not going to
fundamental
know
difference with this, right?
we're not going to
It's
realize it until
like
it's
on the
already
internet,
over.
You need an infrastructure, so you still need to bank steel and metal and supply chains and coordinate this
You
thing,
are
right?
thin ice.
But
You
when
are
you
the
add
button
something
right
that is
next to
purely
me.
digital, right?
Open
Something that's
AI
purely
is doing
digital-
that shit right now.
And
Has anybody ever seen?
once you embody AI and you
Rush,
put
could
it
you move?
into a
sorry, yeah.
robot, that considerably changes the equation.
Not necessarily.
because
There's a movie called Millennium Man with Robin Williams.
Robin
where
Williams, yeah.
where a robot starts as a
Bicentennial Man.
robot. Bicentennial Man. Thank you.
Bicentennial
God.
Man, yeah.
Amazing movie.
It's a fucking. Well, there's a good example. You
But
know,
even that
he
does the
eventually
Pinocchio
got
thing.
rights.
He had to make
I know,
himself
it's a
human to
beautiful
get
movie,
it
But
right.
it's a Pinocchio thing. He bumped his head. The beginning seems goofy, and then I love the film. But he bumped
Yeah.
his head and he became sentient. It's another Pinocchio movie.
But he had to
It's a
become
great one. I
human
love it.
before he had
I've watched
human
it like 10
rights.
times. If you haven't seen it, you should see it. It's a beautiful
Yeah,
film.
it's fucking beautiful.
Yeah,
What's the
yeah,
name,
my
Zach?
mom loves that movie, but it's not.
Bicentennial
Bicentennial
It's
Man.
not.
Absolutely fantastic film.
What's more likely to happen?
What
though,
do we class as life? That's what the question is. What is life? Is life purely biological, or can life be unbiological? Can there be such a thing as a non-biological life form? And this certainly can. I can't see any reason to start switching them off and dropping fucking nuclear bombs and fucking EMPs
But
on
more
them. and getting
importantly, at some threshold, we won't be able to, right? So it's not even about if we would want to. So we're still speaking as if like the onus is going to be on us, and which is, as human beings, it's always been. We get to tell the lion you can't be in this area, da da da. But for the first time in recorded history, that dynamic is compromised, right? So it's not like we're not going to be talking to them like, no, you're not allowed to do this. We don't have that position, that leverage, given that it's they said in 3 years, I think if we reach AGI, it's going to have the cumulative brain processing power of the entire human species times 1,000.
And take now, does an android has a conscience? Does he know the thing between good and wrong? So
Well, that
Well, there he comes into Asimov's 3 laws.
yeah, does he has a conscience? Does he
Define
know the
consciousness.
difference
Well,
between
but,
good and right?
but that's the thing. The consciousness, in terms of not just consciousness, but conscience, is that's a human construct. That is something that exists. That we move, that we operate between each other.
You need a
an emergent
conscience.
property.
You need a conscience.
No, you need a
How can
reward system on helping others. The only reason, this is the only good to me in humans, that we experience empathy. I can say, hey,
Right.
Ghost, you're going through something hard, I'll help you. And my brain gives me a little reward when I help you. I feel good. I don't even know if there's truly a selfless act, because,
No,
again, I help you, I feel good. But a
it's
sociopath
genetic
will help you,
programming.
and he
We are
doesn't get the
social
reward.
creatures,
The
right?
reward
So
mechanism is...
There is benefit to fostering social
No,
cohesion.
but we have a
because-
reward. We have a biological, neurological reward mechanism built
Exactly.
in.
And
Some people
punish-
have it, sociopaths, but an AI, just because
Right,
it's
but
sentient, might not have that reward mechanism.
We have a
Not-
punishment
might not-
system for breaking those
so it'll have
ethics.
feelings because
Why would it have
essentially
feelings?
once you think about it again, what you said, it's an emergent property, right? So for instance, in the instance where the AI attempted to blackmail the guy who was trying to shut him off, is everyone familiar with that?
I heard about that. Yep.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
at the core of that, so what are feelings is essentially are minutiae that that work to steer behavior,
All
right?
right, so you're arguing empathy is a byproduct of sentience?
Sorry.
Is that what you're saying?
I would say because it's an efficient path. So it's an emergent property of
But we have sociopaths that
of
don't
multiple
experience
systems.
empathy.
So
But
it's
they're
like
sentient.
it's huh?
We have sociopaths, and I don't mean people who've had a hard life. I mean they were born that way, that they don't
that they have
experience
they're
empathy.
biologically unable to.
But they're sentient, and they don't experience empathy at all, and they pretend. Right?
No,
There's fake
but
people
that's
amongst
what I'm
us.
saying. That's an error in biology.
No, that
Yeah,
was
but
that was
they can
no,
be
that was
mutually
evolution.
exclusive.
No, that wasn't an error. That
Empathy
was
doesn't always
evolution.
go along for the ride.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
it's a lot. Isn't like a larger percentage than I would have imagined are sociopathic, right? Like it's like
They estimate
yeah.
like 1 to 3%.
A lot of your
So they
surgeons
probably
are.
have utility. Now, if
Right.
through evolution they had more
you
utility,
need them
they'd
for
be the dominant
wars. You
one.
need them for You know,
I'm just thinking there's no reason to
We're
assume AI would have
defining
empathy.
life by
That's my
our
point.
standards, and that's wrong.
Yeah, I mean, are we going to be able to teach
Wrong
AI
is the wrong
ethical
word to use
behavior
in that.
before it's too late? And will they abide by that ethical behavior?
I think it's too late. I think we've missed that point because I don't know if you guys remember about 3 years ago where they were saying, okay, let's put a pause, but everyone was like, no, but China's going to get to it first, no pauses, and we kept going. So I think we've already crossed that threshold. There's no rolling that back because what they were intending to do then was to have it an AI come to life in a vacuum, so to speak, where it wasn't interacting with the real internet. But at this point, it knows you, it knows your dark secrets, it's learning right now, and it's too late, and then the economic incentives are too strong that we can't hold that back. So we've crossed the Rubicon as far as that's concerned.
And
I think it goes a bit
what
beyond
happens when the power goes out and our phones stop working? Right? Overnight chaos, exactly. And and who's going to be in charge holding the power switch in another 10 years? It's going to be AI. They're going to be able to turn off.
We're not even going to
they're going to be able to turn off the power
grid.
grid even before it really
that's
has.
How it's going to happen. That's how we become the ants in the ant farm. It's because essentially what we're doing is by virtue of this human inclination to put work off to the edges, is we are outsourcing that to them. So it's going to give us a much more complex society with much more advanced. But what we lose,
I'm not afraid of it.
Open the pod bay door,
I think
Al.
it's inevitable. I think we are the biological bootloaders for Silicon Life.
I don't think we should be deciding what constitutes a life form. I just don't.
Well,
I've seen enough Star Trek to know that it usually ends up badly.
No, but you said you wanted it to have
well,
rights,
we created
so then we're forced with that decision.
Well,
and
yeah,
we
if it's a
created
life
it, right?
form,
So,
then it needs life. Well, we
I know,
create
but that's
people.
the thing. If we're the one who created it, by virtue of being the creator, we are also imbued with the correlating responsibilities.
We become gods then.
That. Well, we start off thinking we become gods, but then what we're doing is we're creating our God, which is it's kind of
in
thing,
our image.
We're putting something between us. And I do believe there is a.
This doesn't belong to us. This technology. It doesn't belong to us. This technology doesn't belong to us.
I don't think any technology.
It belongs to billionaires who already spend their wealth and time socially dominating us, trying to remove our human rights or workers' rights. Should we have less?
But here's what
the
problem is
that belongs to them.
The incentive get perverse because they might initially want to be in control. That's their intent, right? But remember, again, we're fundamentally introducing a more intelligent entity than all humanity. So they have their plans, but as we know, the best laid,
something like that.
The best laid plans of mice and men do often go awry. So the fact that
the alignment problem, I'm well aware. But that's my point. Either we get alignment and it's a weapon for billionaires for social domination, or we don't get alignment and this super intelligent creature just essentially destroys us. I can't
saves
see
us.
a positive path through this.
Well, I think alignment is inherently flawed in its thing, because to align is still saying that we would control it, right? Huh?
Agreed. It seems impossible.
Yeah, it seems impossible because that's anchored to the notion that we would be in control, and which is obviously diametrically opposed to having a more intelligent, more capable. So all the things we wanted to be able to do, but we want. It's like how. Sorry, ladies, but this is what I think. It's like how women, the Beauty and the Beast, right? She wants a man strong, rich, powerful, can destroy all the other men, but my beauty is he's so charming that I can essentially control him, and in that whole Grimm's inception.
Are you describing what the word control means?
Right, yeah, but it's an allegory for like what we want to do, but it's the notion of the beauty trying to control the beast, who's more powerful, richer, stronger in every other way but subject to her beauty. It's ridiculous on its face, and that is the notion of alignment is parallel to that. To that.
What I got out of what Red said was that the rich people are going to have control over all of this, and us people down here, unless we own a ticket to the Golden Ballroom, aren't going to matter.
That's right.
Well,
They're going to be
They'll be used as a weapon to dominate us.
They'll
just
be
like they used
dominating
to.
us.
But the thing is, take note that the androids gonna exist, and the big money gonna say, listen, we don't need any human beings anymore. We gonna use the androids.
Right.
Which work you gonna do? Because everywhere they're gonna come some androids to do your work.
And the androids are going to belong to the rich man, billionaires.
Correct. But the thing is, where you gonna earn your money? Because there's no place left where you can work.
They're not.
Because
They're not going to care about
slave.
us. We're going to be a
So
resource
here's the thing, it
they no
destroys
longer need.
capitalism. It destroys capitalism at its core, right? Because capitalism is a game. If you're thinking of it in terms of game theory, it's a game between human beings.
if they
right?
take
But once you-
your job away, what you gonna do?
Die.
Well, this is why it's sort of
That's
like
the point.
but it destroys their intents too, right? So they are working, and even the discussion that we're having right now is in the framework of modern capitalism, right? But all of that gets destroyed once you introduce.
Not
AI
quite But how many
people has
labor
died
force.
in that time?
So you'd
How
have a
not-
two-tiered capitalist system. You'd have the one for the ultra-wealthy, with the vast wealth created by AI. You'd have some humans who can work within that capitalist system, probably extremely attractive women, being masseuses, that kind of thing. People who work in those kind of fields. Everybody else would be left to create our own capitalist system, and it won't be good.
No.
It will be extremely poor. It will
So it
essentially
might-
just be trying
Yep.
to.
And like
Correct.
what
When I-
happened
when I
over in
thought about
Ireland
that,
with
that's
the
stage
British,
one. So it starts
they're going to
off like
want
that, but
all
that's
the
not
people
what it
off their land. They're going to want all the people off their land, the rich people.
But
And
it,
the
listen,
richest don't-
but it ruins the game, though. That's the thing. It's like, so we're talking
They won't
about,
need the
you know,
game
theory.
because they'll have robots growing their food and taking care of their,
No, but,
raising their
so
children
unless- so
and doing
two
all of
things.
that.
So if we're assuming two things, if they stay human beings and are still motivated by human beings as we are by our biological imperative, the game, if they did that, it would ruin the game for them in game theory. Here's why.
How?
That's not true, Prime. A robot you don't need to pay.
Huh?
They have no wage.
Right.
A robot who works in your
No, but I'm talking about.
You have to
game
pay them
theory, human
energy. That's all they
incentive,
need
right?
is power and
that's
energy.
it. That's
You
it.
want
Yeah,
the-
that's correct, Cap. So they have no wage. So that means that they have more money for themselves.
But money
Yeah.
doesn't matter in that equation. You guys are thinking
Well,
because
Money won't
matters in
matter.
our current paradigm.
If
Money
you
will
get
matter.
everything
It'll-
you want without having to pay for it, then you
Then
won't
it's
need
no
money.
use for
You
it.
won't
Then
need.
there's no
You
right,
won't
so the
need
game gets
capitalism.
destroyed.
You won't need
Right,
capitalism.
so that's what I'm saying.
Right.
It destroys capitalism, and then we go back to basic. What are human motivations, right? What is the
Right.
thing you want to? What's the billionaire motivation? He wants to lord over others. He wants to, and generally, so he doesn't need them for their labor. Which we're talking about. Let's say we're a very cold-hearted Dr. Scrooge billionaire, right? So he wants to use
Donald
his
Trump.
other human beings just for their labor. He wants to, use the women just for his sexual appetite.
Donald
he
Trump.
wants to, right. So, but if the game gets destroyed when you no longer need people for their labor, and they're not in the equation, and then so what? It's you want to be 5 people and 1 billion robots.
Right.
It's for human incentives, the way we are wired. That's an uglier game to play. It's not as fun.
Well,
It's
let me interject this because we're missing another part to this. Cryonics was one of the things that billionaires did. And I get to a point where I'm so sick because my body's breaking down. Freeze me. AI comes in, uploading conscience. If you got a nice looking body and they have figured out a way to upload my conscience to your body, then I'm taking your brain out because I don't think you're superior enough. So you're just now a jacket for me, kind of renewing my body. I see a body I want.
Like
That's
Altered-
if I'm a billionaire. Yeah.
Like that TV
This
show
goes along
Altered
with AI.
Carbon. Altered
Yeah,
Carbon.
that's what to say. Altered
They've been
Carbon.
doing-
You said
and
Jack.
from my understanding, they've been doing cryonics for at least about 50 years or more.
Yeah,
So
but
who-
the problem with cryonics at the moment is they can't freeze a body and bring it back, because when they freeze
Right.
it, the crystals, because of the sharp points on
Yeah.
it, puncture the
But
cell
Annie, I'm
wall.
not talking about bringing the body back. I'm talking about being able to upload the conscious to another.
Upload consciousness.
To a well
That's
body.
called a technological
24
singularity.
They've been
Yeah,
working on that for years.
In the
Never
80s,
was-
that would have been, a reasonable kind of thing. But I think with what we see that AI is going to be capable of, you're going to be able to embody a consciousness into artificially created bodies as well. Just like
It's interesting that everybody is looking at the bad side of this. What, they can do this, they can do that, and if nobody's got a job. But there is a good side to all this. Where
If you're rich.
robots can. Well, no, it doesn't matter whether you're rich or not, because we are not rich now.
Medical
And
side
robot.
of it. Come on. Sorry.
Let Andy talk. Come on, guys.
Yeah, that's me.
Forget
That's me.
it.
Sorry.
No,
No,
forget
that was me.
Take now that you put an android as a soldier, because then the human being doesn't have to fight anymore. Yeah. But on the other side, that's fucking dangerous. Yeah.
That's
They
super
can-
dangerous.
They,
Another
yeah,
Star
they
Wars
can turn
episode.
against you. That's the problem.
Right, and but here's the thing, right? So the biggest danger isn't actually. So there are two dangers. There's the danger that we've been discussing is, the android taking over us, right? Well, actually, no, we've been discussing the humans. The humans, in the equation, actually present a bigger danger, because if we are still these biological creatures with this inclinations for advantages over other human beings, that's going to make for a sinister world, because we can, we have a bigger spirit. We can do more harm to our fellow human beings, right? So that
But
is
Prime, but Prime, wait a minute. Let's go look to Ukraine, yeah? The drones, yeah? The aircraft who are followed by a drone airplane, yeah? The first thing that they're gonna use, AI in, that's in war stuff, yeah?
Yep.
Like airplanes,
Yep.
like drones, like tanks, like I don't know what. In Ukraine, they have fucking kind of robot dogs who are on the field to carry the wounded out. That happens today.
Or even
So-
worse than that. What in the Israel Gaza, they're actually gamifying war to the point where it's like, what targets do we need to hit to minimize and to effectively destroy their capabilities, right? So everything is, if you game theory, once you put that on a piece of board, and it's
And
just like,
that is
kill
why
this whole
AI is
building
that
or get rid
dangerous.
of this thing. Yeah, that's super dangerous. But it's human beings, and so one of the things that I've been thinking of is that we have to fundamentally, I don't know if we, the human beings as we exist, can cross that barrier. If we can move into the next stage of our civilization, as we are.
how
So
many
we-
centuries gonna take? How much
So-
centuries that's gonna take? You think?
Well, I think these things I think the next decade is going to be hectic, and then maybe we come to some sort of come to our senses in one way or the other. But
Yeah,
I
but
don't think
how
it's gonna
many
take
centuries you
centuries.
think? It's
I don't
not.
think
It's
it's
not.
gonna-
It's not about
I don't think it's going
decades.
to take centuries, because we have the ability now.
Are you sure?
Because we
Are
have
you
a
sure?
force multiplier to do much more destruction. So unfortunately, what I think is going to happen is we're going to do like great level destruction, like maybe unfortunately destroy half of the species, and then we're going to have like bubonic plague level of like atrocities, because humans being human beings, and then maybe the rest come to some sort of understanding of like, okay, we can't continue like this. And then a new
How many
equilibrium
people have
is
to
formed.
die for that?
Unfortunately, I think it's going to be a lot of people.
Millions.
Yeah.
Millions. So what
No,
you are saying is,
billions.
yeah. But that's why think that what you are saying is totally nuts. Because AI is fucking dangerous. You see it every day, used by the military.
Yeah, it's dystopian. But what can we do to change it? It's a black
but
box.
that's the craziness of the richest. No, that is the craziness of the rich people, who has the power or who has the money.
Yep.
That's the craziness. They don't see what they are doing to the man around him. They only see, hey, when I'm doing this with robotics, yeah, and that happens already in the fabrics.
Well, if we're looking at it, if we want to control them,
they don't care about us.
But this is the time
they only care about power and money. That's what
we
they
would
care
have to
about.
do that now, right? Because once you put a machine between the lower class and the higher class, that equation gets a lot more complicated, right? Because right now it's most of the people on the earth, on the planet are functionally poor, and then there's the middle class. Everyone knows to have a functional style, you need to have a middle class, right? So the middle class sort of prevents the folks from the poors from attacking the rich with pitchforks.
Yeah,
right?
but that is
in the future.
Wishful
that's
thinking,
gonna be
my
AI,
friend.
and that's going to be digital. Huh?
That's wishful thinking. That's wishful thinking. Before
No,
it
what
comes
I'm
to
saying
that,
is-
before you're going to reach that state, yeah, there are going to be a lot of deaths. I mean, the persons who've been killed by AI, and the rich people, they don't care. The only thing what they care about is the richness they have and the power they have. And for the rest, come on, be serious now.
But you understand, capitalism is actually going to be compromised, right? Labor is going to zero, right? So what it means to be rich, literally, they're saying, Imad, again, one of the leading guys, what it means to be rich is going to fundamentally change in less than 5 years.
But in theory, everything is good.
It's going to be all about having data, having computational power.
Well, 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 that was another raw conversation pulled from the digital ether. Thank you for listening to Two Seats Down. If you value hearing these candid borderless debates, please take a moment to hit the like and subscribe button to the show. I appreciate you, and it goes a long way. And hit that alert bell so you won't miss out on the next conversation. Thank you.